Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Keela. I'm one of the children's librarians at Santa Clara County Library. Thank you guys so much for joining me for our special Silicon Valley Reads Art Club program, Pom Pom Wall Art. Today we are going to be making a beautiful pom pom mural. Well, we're going to be learning the techniques to make this. So you'll probably have to review this video and in order to make all of the different pom-poms, and then we'll fill up our boxes with them. So I'm going to wait just a little longer to start. So about 1 more minute to let everybody log in. And for those of you joining us on Facebook, hi everyone. Just so you guys know, this video will be recorded and it will be posted to the library Facebook page. So you guys can always come back and watch again. Okay, we are going to wait just a couple more minutes. Hello, Caroline. Hello, Drew. Hello, Dia. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Viviana. Welcome. Oh, and just so you guys know, we are using Zoom webinar, which means that your video is turned off. Your microphone is muted. However, you can, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the Q&A section, and I'll answer them for you. All right, and it is 4 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started. So hello once again, everybody. I'm Miss Keela. I'm one of the children's librarians at Santa Clara County Library. For today's Silicon Valley Reads Pom Pom Wall Art program, we are going to learn how to make fuzzy, fluffy pom-poms that you can then put together and make a wall mural to light up your spaces. So, and joining me today is my lovely assistant, Tamara, who's up in the, well, for me, it's up in the top corner. And if you have any questions, she'll also be monitoring the Q&A section. She's also monitoring the Facebook section, the Facebook comment section. If any of you guys have any questions, go ahead and write them in, and then she'll let me know. Okay, so to get started, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so once again, this is Kids Art Club, and today we are making Pom Pom wall art. For this craft, you are going to need yarn of different colors. You will need some sharp scissors. You'll need some cardboard, and if you registered, you received the circle template to cut out your cardboard into circles. If you did not register for the Zoom link, that's okay. We'll post the link to the circle templates in the video description on Facebook. You'll need some glue. You'll need a pen. The pen is mostly just to draw the circles to help you out. And then colored paper, shadow box, and tape. So for a shadow box, I don't want to make you guys go and run out and have to buy something. So what I suggest is get like a Kleenex box, hot chocolate mix, get a granola bar box, get a small cereal box, a small gift box. You could also come to the libraries. We'll have kits with all the supplies, and you can ask for them at the library. So that will be available to you. So yeah, any small little box. And then, and last supply, tape to help tape the sides of the box. Okay. Oh, and some more Zoom webinar reminders. We are using Zoom webinar, so your video and your audio have been turned off, but go ahead and use the Q&A section at the bottom of the screen to ask questions. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, go ahead and write questions in the comments, and my lovely assistant Tamara will let me know that they're there. And a recording of this program will be available for viewing on our Facebook page. All right, so did that, sorry. Okay. Sorry, I accidentally clicked on something and okay, hopefully you can still see my screen. Okay, for today's art project, we are going to do a project inspired by Maybe Something Beautiful by Isabel Campoy. It was one of the books selected for this year's Silicon Valley Reads program. The theme for this year is connecting, and I can really see why they selected this book for it. In the book, we meet a girl named Mira who loves to create colorful art, and she hangs it all over her walls. She even gives art to her neighbors, which brings them a lot of joy. And then one day she sees a muralist who's painting the walls of her kind of gray, drab neighborhood, and she decides to help him. And that inspires her neighbors to come out and do the same. And in the end, the project makes Mira's neighborhood bright and beautiful and colorful. But the most beautiful thing about the project was that it brought all of her neighbors, her family, her friends together. So for this art project, I'm hoping that you can do it together as a family. And I hope it will bring some bright color to your walls and make you smile when you see it. Today, we are going to be using yarn. Now, I love using yarn because it can be used in so many different ways. And it's textural, it's soft, you can knit with it, you can crochet with it. Today, we're going to be making pom-poms with it. Now, people have been using wool and yarn to make beautiful art for centuries. This is not a new thing. From the native Huichol tribes in central Mexico, who they would press the yarn into beeswax to make beautiful wall art, to the ancient Indian cultures of Peru that would weave this tapestries from like wool of llamas and alpacas, to modern artists today that crochet, they knit, they knot, they twist, and in other creative ways, they use yarn. Like Polish artist Oleg, who covered the Charging Bull statue in New York in 2010 with a colorful cozy that she crocheted. And she also does these awesome murals that she hangs on civic buildings all across the US. And she actually teaches local women to help her. And so she teaches them how to crochet, and all together they build these amazing murals. And there's also Spanish artist Joan Mural, whose tapestry of the Fundación was conceived as a huge fresco, and it's created with jute and cotton and bright colored wool. And this tapestry is huge. It measures 16 feet by 24 feet. It's like it dominates the room, but it's so soft and textural. And isn't that so cute? And another artist, Portuguese artist Vanessa Baraggio. This is her 2019 botanical tapestry, which depicts the world and the botanical plants and corals that live on the land and in the ocean. So this is also another huge piece. It's 19.5 feet by 6.5 feet. And it's a tapestry that's just alive with like different structures and different textures, all made from recycled yarn. And it can be seen at London Heathrow Airport. And I think this is a close-up of all those little details. So as you've seen, we can do a lot with yarn, and we can create different textures depending on how we use it. We can weave it, we can knit it with needles, our fingers, we can crochet, we can embroider, we can create something smooth, we can create something bumpy, something thin, we can something thick to learn how to. And so, for example, over here, I have some different examples of different types of things that you can do. Like, for example, on the top, this is a crocheted pillow. Or next to it, this is a woven loom. Then there's knitting. You could crochet hats and make a pom-pom like we're going to be making today. And these are all projects that you can learn using one of our library services. It's called Creative Bug. So if you go to our website, sccld.org, and click on Online Library, it's one of the awesome free services that we offer. And it's just basically a collection of all these arts and crafts videos. And they teach you how to do all these different things. So for today, what I'm going to teach you guys, we are going to create some puffy pom-pom balls out of yarn, and we're going to put them all together to make a fabulously soft pom-pom ball art. Okay, so first up, though, I want to ask you guys a question. So I'm going to launch a poll. What size pom-pom would you like to make today? Would you like to make a small one, a medium, or a large one? So I'm going to launch this poll, and I'm going to see what you guys would like to do today. So go ahead and vote and let me know. Do you want a small one, a medium one, or a large one? And the votes are coming in. Oh, this is so exciting. Because like I'm watching all the votes coming in. All right. And the votes are in. And let me see if I can share this with you. Share results. And the winner is medium. We're going to go with a medium pom-pom. And then the second one is large. All right. So we're going to actually make two pom-poms today. So I'm going to show you first how to make a medium one, and then I'll show you how to make a large one. All right. Perfect. And okay, and then what color should I use? So for this one, I'm going to show you what colors I have. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, so let's see. No, this one. Okay, so I have red, I have green, I have purple. All right, so which color would you guys like to see first? So I'm going to go ahead and launch this one. So red, green, or purple? All right. I've got 63% of the vote in. I'm just going to wait for, okay, 81%, 90%. Okay, perfect. All right. So the winner is, share results. The winner is purple. All right, so we are going to be using purple today. Perfect. Okay, so let me pull this one out. All right, so purple. Okay, so to get started, what you're going to need to do is cut out your cardboard circles first. So basically just use the template, use the pen to trace the circle and onto your cardboard and then cut them out. So I gave you templates for a small one, a medium one, and a large one. So you can see the different sizes here. So, and then, so after you've cut out the circle, what you do is you take your scissors and you just poke a hole through the center of one of them. So we're going to be making a medium one today. So I'm going to grab the medium one, put those aside. All right, so I'll keep that here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your yarn. And so I recommend having 2 balls of yarn. But if you only have 1 ball of yarn, that's totally fine too. But I would recommend 2 balls because it makes this process go a little bit faster. So you'll have 2 balls of yarn sitting next to each other. And then I'm also going to teach you 2 methods for making pom-poms. So the first method is we're going to use our hands, like just our hands. And the second method, we are going to use some toilet paper rolls. Okay, first method though. So go ahead, take your 2 strands of yarn from your 2 yarn balls and drape them over your fingers like this. Then what you're going to do is you're going to wrap them around your fingers together. And we're going to wrap it 60 times, which I know sounds like a lot, but it actually goes by really fast. So what I recommend is just start wrapping and in your head, just count to 60. So I've already gotten like 12 on here. So try to make sure that when you're wrapping your fingers, don't wrap it too tight. So you want to make sure that you can still move your fingers because you want to be able to take the yarn off your fingers. And then I'm also noticing that some yarn is coming off the ends of my fingers here. That's totally fine. I'm just going to push them back into my fingers like so. All right, so that's about 60 times. It might be a little bit over. All right, but it's about 60. Okay, so then my fingers are nicely wrapped up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut the yarn here and slide this off my fingers. So now I have this lovely bundle of soft woolly yarn here. Okay. And then I'm going to take that yarn. Again, I'm going to take 2 strands and I'm going to go around the middle of my wrapped yarn here. And I'm just going to tie a knot. So I recommend when you're tying your knot, go underneath the yarn twice for the knot. So I'll show that again. I know I've got a lot of yarn here. So I'm wrapping the yarn twice to make my knot. And the reason I do that twice is so that it holds the yarn nice and tight and it doesn't loosen when I let go. See, I let go and it's still nice and tight. Then I'm going to tie it one more time just normally, just like I was tying a shoe. I'm going to tie it nice and tight. So I've got my bundle of yarn and it's tied in the middle there. Okay, make sure that's in the middle. And then go ahead and cut this off. Then I'm going to grab these 2 tails here. And I'm going to take my circle. So this is my medium-sized cardboard circle. And I'm going to slip the tails, into that circle that I poked into the middle. Let me get that end in there. Okay. And then this is the fun part. You're going to take your scissors out and you're going to cut the loops. So go ahead and stick your scissors through the loops and just cut. So for this project, you really want to have nice sharp scissors or just cut the loops like one at a time. But if you have nice sharp scissors, you can cut a lot of the loops all at once. Okay, and then look through, see if if I missed any loops. All right, I'm going to do the other side. cut all of my loops, I think. I'm looking for any that I might have missed. It's okay if you miss them. It's okay, because we'll find them. All right, so go ahead, look through. All right. And now you might be wondering, okay, why did I stick this tail through the hole in the circle? And it's so that I can pull it, and then my pom-pom will rest right here on the circle. Then I'm going to take that second cardboard circle. I'm going to place that right here on top and squish it down. So I kind of have like a pom-pom sandwich at this point. And, okay, so now I have my pom-pom sandwich, and I am going to take my scissors and I'm just going to trim all around the cardboard circle. So this is going to give your pom-pom that nice round shape. So just work around nice and slow. And don't worry about being perfect. This is just going to be a rough cut. I love making pom-poms because it feels like I'm cutting the pom-pom's hair. Okay, so I gave my pom-pom a nice haircut. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it one more time. So I'm going to take my pom-pom. See, it's already pretty circular, but I feel like it could get it just a little bit more circular. So I'm going to take my pom-pom and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. So basically flip it over on its side. And then take that circle again and squish it down. And you can see now I've got more to trim. So let me trim this off. And if you're still in the wrapping stage, or if you're still in like the first hair cutting stage, that's okay. So this video is going to be posted on our library Facebook page, so you can always just rewatch, start from whatever part you need to review and refresh. And again, don't worry about making it perfect, because that's the beauty of pom-poms, is that they don't have to be perfect and they're still adorable and they're still really cute. All right, and then I'm going to put aside, and I'm going to grab my tails here and I'm going to give that pom-pom a nice shake. And you can see he's got some stragglers here, right? So that's what I'm saying, is like you don't have to make it perfect, because we're good. It's always a matter of like trimming it. It's just a matter of just trimming those weird stragglers. It is very much like giving a haircut, right? So you can give like the perfect haircut, and then you wash your hair and you realize, oh, I missed this hair. So don't worry, just trim it. Trim off those stragglers. Okay, and there we go. We have our first purple medium-sized pom-pom. Okay, using just our hands and our cardboard circle templates and a pair of scissors. Also note, this is a very messy craft, so it's a good idea to have like a nice work surface that you can just wipe clean afterwards. Okay, so do we have any questions about making pom-pom using just our hands? Or our hands all wrapped up in yarn? That's always a possibility. Okay, so this was our medium-sized pom-pom. So now we're going to do our large-sized pom-pom. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this one aside. For our large size pom-pom, I'm going to do that in red. And, oh, and then also, if you don't have 2 balls of yarn, if you only have 1 ball of yarn, that's totally fine. What I would recommend though, is when you wrap it twice as, wrap it 120 times instead of 60 times so that you get a more fluffy pom-pom. So it's just a matter of wrapping it more times. Okay, so I'm gonna have 2 balls of yarn here. So we're gonna make our large one. So that's this guy. Okay, so step 1, I'm gonna take your 2 toilet paper rolls and then stick them on your fingers. Okay, so I'm sticking them like on these 2 fingers and then my thumb. So I have these 2 fingers that are free to hold this down. And then I'm gonna wrap around the toilet paper rolls. Again, if you don't have toilet paper rolls, that's okay, just use your hands. And wrap around your hands, just like we did the first time. But if you have toilet paper rolls, they're really useful because it slips off your fingers like really easily. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this 60 times, okay? That you can see. Okay, and I think that was 60. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut this bundle of yarn free. And then I'm gonna take my yarn again. And just like before, we're gonna tie around our bundle of yarn. For this one, I'm going to use the toilet paper rolls to help me, to like guide me to the middle. So I'm gonna slip my yarn between the 2 toilet paper rolls. So take your yarn and slip it between the 2 toilet paper rolls. And then flip that over. And then I'm going to tie it. Once again, I want you to tie it with a knot that has this end of this yarn going under twice, 2 times. So I'll do that again. And the reason I'm having you guys do it 2 times instead of the normal 1 time, like when you're tying your shoe, is so that it really grips the yarn and you can pull it nice and tight. Okay, and work that way down into the center. And then I'm gonna slip this off. So I'm pulling out the toilet paper rolls. And I'm grabbing my yarn and I'm going to pull it nice and tight. Tight as you can. Okay. All right. And then make 1 more knot. This one just like a normal, like when you're tying your shoes. Just once. And tie it nice and tight. All right. And then cut this free. All right. And now I have my tail here where I tied it in the middle. So I'm going to take my cardboard circle and I'm going to slip these ends through that hole. And I'm going to just start cutting. So I'm going to put my scissors into the loops here, and then I'm going to cut. And again, don't worry if you miss some loops, just go back, look for them. I missed a bunch of loops right here. Okay, I'm cutting them right now. All right, there's one more. Okay, look around, see if I missed any loops. Oh, I missed a loop here. Okay. And then I'm gonna do the other side. So remember how I was talking about how when you're working with yarn, it can create different textures? Well, if I wanted to, I could just leave this pom-pom just like this, right? And it's a very shaggy texture. It's a very loose amoeba-like creature here, yeah? Or if I trim it, I can trim it and, for example, I could trim it super small and then it's very, very puffy and it's very tight. Kind of looks like a flower. Or like this one. This one, I wrapped it around my hands and then I didn't trim it. I didn't use the circle. I just left it as is. And I love it. It's super shaggy and it kind of looks like a triangle to me too. So I can trim it and I can get it to have different shapes however I want. But for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna trim it to make it look more like a circle, a traditional pom-pom. But you could totally just leave it like this and it'd be a super cool shaggy pom-pom. Okay, so took the big circle and I'm gonna plop it on top. And so I've got my pom-pom sandwich again. And then go ahead and trim around the edge of the circle. So, fun fact, yarn is usually spun from natural fibers like cotton and silk and wool, but there are also yarns that are spun from fibers like alpaca or Angora rabbit, camel hair, llama hair, raccoon, and even dog hair. I think that might be a special order though. I've never seen dog hair yarn at Joann's. So once again, don't worry about being perfect. Just do your best and have fun. This is the one time you can pretend like you're cutting your mom or your dad's hair and you don't have to worry. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pom-pom. It already looks pretty good, but I want to make it even more circular. So I'm going to fluff it up a little bit and turn it on its side. And then take my cardboard circle again and make another pom-pom sandwich. And so you can see I've got some more to trim here. I'm going to trim off this part. Like I said, if I'm going a little too fast, don't worry. This video will be posted to the Facebook page for Santa Clara County Library. So you can always go back and review. So another cool fact Yarn could be smooth, it can be shiny, it can be rough, it can be dull. It could be a different combination because yarn is made from spinning these different fibers together. So, for example, sometimes you'll see yarn that has these narrow strips of metallic material like silver or gold that's spun into the yarn to make it nice and sparkly. Okay, oh, here's this. Oh, see, look, there's a really long one there. Okay, and now pull it out of that circle and give my pom-pom a shake. And then look for any of those stragglers again. I just need a trim. And look, I got one super long straggler. Okay, so let me trim that off. Okay, one more. That kind of sticking out. Okay. And that looks pretty good. Okay. Now, if you want, you can take your pom-pom and you can add it to like your sweater or to your hat, or if you want to sew it onto anything really, anything that needs a pom-pom. So I would recommend, leave the tail so that you can knit it into the hat or knit it into the sweater. But since we're not doing that for this particular project, I'm gonna clip this off because I don't need the tail. But if you were doing something like that, if you were making like a hat and you wanted a pom-pom on the top, leave the tail and then work the tail into the hat. Okay, so there we have our large pom-pom out of red yarn. Okay, so do I have any questions? Let me see. Okay, not seeing any questions. All right. So, cutting off the tail there. Okay, so that is how you make pom-poms using just your hands and using toilet paper rolls. So now what I recommend you guys do is go on and make some pom-poms, make a bunch of pom-poms as much as you can, and out of the yarn that you have. So a little bit of advice, the number of times you wrap the yarn will affect how thick and puffy your yarn or your yarn pom-pom will be. So this one here, this is a large one. And this is one I've wrapped it 70 times, and you can see it's a little bit thicker, but that's pretty much it. So that's 70 times. And another thing that changes the thickness or the density really of the pom-pom is the size that you make it. So for example, this is a small one. So this is a small one that's like, I want to say it's maybe 1.5 inches in diameter. So you can see it looks really, really thick. And if you compare that to the one that we made today, this is the same. It's 60 wraps around. But just because that this one is a medium size, it looks a little bit looser. And then once again, if you want, you can trim it and make it a nice circle, or you don't have to. Just make it, just leave it untrimmed, and then it's very natural looking. It's very shaggy looking. So once you've gotten a variety of different pom-poms, then we're going to fill our shadow boxes with them. So you might be wondering, okay, so what am I going to do with that granola bar box, right? So what I'm going to have you do is take your box and I'm going to have you cut out one of the sides of the box. So cut out one of the sides. So to do that, I just stuck my scissors into it and then just cut around the edges. And then the side popped out. When you do that, Sometimes the sides of the box might come loose. So take some of that tape and then wrap it around the edges. And then what you're going to do is, now it's going to be like magic. You're going to wrap it in some colored paper. So use your glue, use your tape, and then wrap it around the edges to give it that nice polished look. You can do different colors, or if you want, just simple black, simple white, that also works too. And then, very, very simple. All we're gonna do is, cut this tail off. Okay, we're going to fill our shadow boxes with our pom-poms. Okay. And you can pack it in here as much as you want, or if you don't want to pack it in, like make it nice and loose, have fun with it. Just rearrange as much as you want. So you can add more, add less. I recommend doing different sizes. So like do some large, do some small, do some medium. That way you have some variety. So maybe I want to make, maybe I want to make something more purple and green. I'll add some red in here. It's kind of like flower arranging, however you want to arrange your pom-poms. You know what? I want to stick my shaggy pink one in here. I think that would look really cute. And then as soon as you've got an arrangement that you like, so you can, if you want, you can glue it down, or you don't have to, because I've actually found that it actually just holds pretty well, just like that. But I did put glue on the supply list because if you want, you can glue it down and really secure the balls down. So just put some glue on the bottom and then put your pom-poms in there. But if you don't want to glue it down, that's fine too. So that means that you can be like, oh no, I don't want to put that one there. I want to put a green one there. You know, you can constantly change it, and you can change the colors and whatever suits your mood. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to leave it just like that. And that is our pom-pom shadow box wall art. All right. And do I have any questions? Oops. Let me see.
Keela, that is so lovely looking. I just wanted to let you know I've answered a couple of questions. You can look at the answered ones and see if there's anything you'd like to add to the answers I put into those questions that came up while you were creating.
Oh, awesome. Okay, let me see. Why do we need two toilet paper rolls? Oh, yes. So using two, perfect. Allows you to easily tie the pom-pom in half. Perfect. Yes. That's correct. And yes, if you use one, it will just end up smaller. I like to use two because that way I can slip the yarn between the two, and then it divides this bundle of yarn. It divides it in half, like nicely. Okay. And yes, if you want smaller pom-poms, then just use the smaller circle template. All right. Now, let me just bring this back up. So these are some other ideas that you can use or that you can make using your pom-poms. So in the center one, I really like the center one because it has that shaggy pom-pom, so you can see that you don't have to cut them in perfect circles and they still look really cute. You can make them like a nice big circle bouquet. Depending on what colors you use, you can make a lovely gradient, or you can make a checkerboard. All right. So I would love to see your pom-poms, and I would love to see what you guys make. So please take a photo of your artwork and upload it to our kids art gallery. And here is the link. We're also going to put the link on our Facebook Live video description, so it will be there for you. And please join us if you have time for our Colors of the Rainbow art project, which will be coming up March 2nd. So for this art project, we're going to be using all the colors of the rainbow to create 3 different craft projects. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Oh, and if you have not checked out Maybe Something Beautiful, go ahead, check that out from the library. It's such a good book. I highly recommend it. So thank you so much. And I cannot wait to see your pom-pom murals. And I'm going to wait just a couple more seconds if there's any last minute questions. All right, I don't see any more questions. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. And be safe, be kind, be good. Bye, everybody.